What's up, everybody, and welcome back to another exciting episode of Around the Monitor, the weekly gaming news talk show where every point you make in the discussion is a point towards winning. How things work here is we talk through the week's news in gaming. Every time somebody makes an interesting point or a funny joke, their score goes up, and whoever has the highest at the end of the show wins for that week. If you like the show, you can watch us live on twitch.tv/SaveDataTeam every Thursday night at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time. But if not, no worries. It goes up the very following day on our YouTube as well as podcast services. Joining me once again, we've got the Ace Attorney, Pridge.
I'll do Chris's intro for the day. It's Thursday. You know what that means.
We surely do. We've got the hockey sticks and sickle herself, Elise.
Number one Hilda fan.
And last but not least, making his return to the show, it's Ro.
I like pineapple on my pizza, and I don't care who knows it.
Hell yeah. I see you also have excellent taste. If this is your first time watching the show, know that you can vote along at home on our Twitch by using the channel points to give or take away points from people you agree or disagree with. But we always start the show with a trivia question to determine the order. And folks, in the news this week, dominating, I believe, almost a third of our topics for this week's show, the Epic versus Apple court case is finally started. And there's a ton of leaked information of just interesting numbers, funny stories of stuff going on behind the scenes. But how much money has Fortnite made Epic Games in 2 years? Yes, this is 2018, 2019.
Too much.
Elise wins. Elise, you will be going first this week.
12 billion.
12 billion.
I think I know the answer to this question. I believe it is 9 billion.
9 billion.
See, I was gonna go high, but then Ro undersold it.
I don't know. To me, 9 billion is a lot of money.
Yeah, but I was gonna go 20 million.
Oh, okay.
But no, I'm gonna go. Let's split it down the middle. 11 million.
The correct answer, Ro did know the exact answer. It is, in fact, $9 billion in just 2 years.
Sorry, did I say 11 million? I meant 11 billion.
Too late. You said million.
Oh my gosh. But let's talk through the week's topics. We've got, again, the different leaks coming from the Epic versus Apple courtroom leaks. We've got Xbox considered giving developers higher revenue to a higher revenue share of their games, more in line with the Epic Games Store. Epic has also had to pay PlayStation to get crossplay with Fortnite. Most notably, they are not doing that for any other developer. We also got a list of what Epic has paid several different game developers for the games it is giving away as free on the store, as well as how many game copies they've actually given away for each of those copies. Epic has also acquired ArtStation, the artist job posting and marketplace site, and they will be doing the same thing with the revenue split there, moving it down from the original 30%. Then we also have the Activision Blizzard news block, is what I'm calling this. We've got Activision is literally tripling down on Call of Duty, planning to hire more than 2,000 new developers in the next 2 years. Along with this, the Crash Bandicoot remake developer Toys for Bob has been pulled from working on that and is now working on Call of Duty Warzone. RMP Crash again. Blizzard has lost 29% of its active player base over the last 3 years, despite turning in higher profits. Surprising nobody, Nintendo had an incredibly good 2020, in which it reported the highest profits it has ever had in its entire history. Nintendo has also announced a game builder. It's called Game Builder Garage, which is basically teaching people how to make their own games. Eat your heart out, dreams. 6 of Google Stadia staff have left to join Jade Raymond's Haven Entertainment, and alongside this news comes the fact that their head of product has left as well. Does this mean that Google Stadia is finally officially actually dead? Probably. Humble Bundle has reversed its decision from last week to lower the donation cap. In a surprise reversal from news we reported on a few weeks ago, Discord and PlayStation have announced that they are partnering moving forward. And last but not least, the director of The Witcher 3 has left CD Projekt Red after reports of bullying.
Yeah.
The chat has already done some points. They've taken away a point from me, which again, I don't have a score. You can't do that. But Hungry Cat has given a point to Elise, presumably for the cat. So there we go. Elise starting off with a strong lead. Ro, what would you like to talk about for your first topic of the week?
I would actually like to talk about the Nintendo Game Builder Garage because
Yeah.
I love me some Nintendo.
Heck yeah. Take it away.
All right. So, for all that don't know, I think it was yesterday actually that this was announced on their Twitter that Nintendo is, well, they announced Game Builder Garage, which teaches you how to make your own games. And right off the bat, obviously, it reminded me and so many others of PlayStation's Dreams, just a little bit more of a dumbed down version of it. So, it takes some ideas from Mario Maker and kind of implements it into these kind of bite-sized lessons that teaches players how to develop games, basically, and they'll teach you how to make like 2-player games, like there's a 3D racer and stuff like that. It costs $30, which is something that Nintendo usually doesn't do when they're developing games, makes it affordable. So it's pretty great that it's not a $70 game. But yeah, I don't blame Media Molecule for this, but I blame my pea-sized brain. But I could never rack my head around the creation tools in Little Big Planet and in Dreams, despite I think it being pretty accessible for pretty much anybody. But if anybody can do it, I think Nintendo would be able to make it even more accessible for my, again, pea-sized brain to understand how these tools work, because I've always been interested in getting into these things, but again, I'm a dummy. So got to make it really, really dumbed down for me. And I think Nintendo, obviously being kind of catered for like a younger audience, I think that'll help as well. You could also share your online creations with people, just like Dreams, but the question still stands. Nintendo has kind of a track record for, taking down fan-made games. Will Nintendo start suing or taking down fan-made games on their own freaking platform? We'll see. We'll see. But I think this is really cool, and I'm excited to try it out. And it comes out in June, so not too much longer to wait.
That is an interesting wrinkle. I had not considered that they would take down the games that people make with their own software. But you're right, I guess. I mean,
I'm sure there's going to be people who are going to be able to like take this to the next level that Nintendo isn't even like imagining, just like Dreams, where people are going to make Mother 3 in this thing, or like who knows what they're going to be able to do. Yeah, who knows?
If somebody puts Mother 3 inside this game, that would be the ultimate burn to Nintendo. The chat agrees with you. Hungry Cat also gives a point to Ro, so there we go. Elise, despite the fact that you did say millions, we all know in our hearts you meant billions. So therefore, it is your turn to go next. What would you like to talk about for your first topic of the show?
All right, let's talk about, let's stay on the Nintendo beat.
The Nintendo beat, exactly.
Just to spite Zach, we're going to
not talk about the topic of the show.
The topic of the show.
Fair.
Nintendo had a strong, record-breaking fiscal year.
They sure did.
Which, when you think about it, like we are, 4 years into the Switch's life cycle, which is probably about halfway, maybe a little more than that. We haven't seen that many new games from Nintendo over the past year, especially first-party games. Seen a lot of third-party games get on the thing, but
it's true.
But then you think about it. For the first 4 months of the pandemic, the Switch was consistently sold out.
Yeah.
When you think about it, like Ring Fit was a huge deal. Animal Crossing was like a cultural phenomenon.
I mean, 30 million units sold, which I think is the second best selling game for the Switch, all in 1 year.
So 32.63 million units in the fiscal year for Animal Crossing New Horizons. Mario Kart 8 Deluxe is the number one best-selling game at 35.39. So, and that's been out since pretty much the Switch launch. I think it came out like a year in or something.
If you want to get technical, it's a Wii U game.
I mean, it is that. It is that.
Yeah.
And then Smash Bros. Ultimate is like almost 10 million short at 23.84 million, which still is fucking incredible. The just the amount of like people buying a Switch through the pandemic, I think, is the main thing. I mean, I bought one.
Yeah.
I got mine from Monster Hunter. Monster Hunter was the #1 single platform launch for Capcom ever, and is pretty close to their Monster Hunter World numbers, which were the best launch of any game they've ever had.
Yeah.
And obviously Nintendo gets a cut of that because it's on their platform. Their third-party game offerings were huge this year. And then their mobile and IP revenue went up as well. So that went up to 57.0 billion, which is 11% increased.
Jeez.
So much money these guys have.
Did they even release a mobile game last year? Because no, Mario Kart was the year before that.
Yeah, Mario Kart, the mobile, was the year before.
It might have been the Dr. Mario game, but I know that didn't really move the needle.
I didn't even know that existed.
Yeah, they got a Dr. Mario mobile game. It's not very good. It's okay. I played more than I should have.
Dr. Mario was never very good.
Oh, shit.
It's like a worse Puyo Puyo.
You're not wrong. But yeah, no, so Nintendo's just fucking killing it right now.
And what does this mean for the future? I think it means they're going to try to stretch out the Switch because it's doing amazing for them even this late into the life cycle, because people don't care about graphics, especially when there's a system so convenient like the Switch.
Catching up with the chat, Hungry Cat gives a point to Elise for going rogue earlier. And Dinky Danky gives a point to Elise for Nintendo Switch exclusives are 1000% why I bought a Switch. So yeah, I mean, Nintendo.
I got the thing from Monster Hunter.
Yeah. Oh, and Dan gives a point as well. If Doom Eternal can run on a Switch, I have a hard time telling folks, oh, you've got to get a PlayStation 4 or 5, let alone an Xbox. Yeah, I mean, it's been proven time and time again, especially for indies. If you're an indie developer, the one console you want to put your game on is the Nintendo Switch. Like the attach rate there is way higher. I mean, of course, Steam, because it's going to be the easiest to develop for, but the next one is hands down the Switch.
Yeah.
Pridge, what would you like to talk about for your first topic of the show?
We cannot go through this week without getting into the Epic Apple thing. So I'm gonna dive right into that.
Thank you. The Ace Attorney finally talking about some court proceedings here. What do you got for us?
So the one I want to dive into specifically is just how much Sony hates crossplay.
Those emails are absolutely wild.
Yeah, this is the one I want to dive into specifically. I'll start with just for the sake of it. For anyone who doesn't know, there is a massive court case going on between Epic Games and Apple. And what it comes down to is Epic found a way to bypass Apple's 30% take. So basically, if you download Fortnite on an Apple device, Apple takes 30%. Epic found a way to bypass this, so Apple said, get the fuck off our app then. And now Epic has launched a lawsuit, and the core thing they're trying to argue is that Apple's trying to create some sort of is basically engaging in monopolistic behavior with the way it runs its app store. This is a pretty important case because depending on how this ends up, this can either, if Apple wins, they're going to feel even more emboldened to do the stuff they are doing. And if they somehow manage to lose this could be a crazy shift in how developers make money off things like the App Store.
Yeah.
And as articles have pointed out, this Epic Games lawsuit is an indirect shot at Steam, who also takes a 30% cut.
Yeah.
So this is like an indirect shot at them essentially as well. So this is going to have potentially far-reaching consequences that will probably not play out for a long time. But this is a boring thing to read the minutia on. I tried listening to the stream of the case. The audio quality was bad. And it was very boring.
It's a nightmare. Yeah.
Yeah. So don't actually try and listen to it. But if you care about video game news, keep an eye on what comes out of this because it will be important.
Mm-hmm.
But specifically, during the course of these hearings, with all the testimonies of different individuals, Sweeney himself and other higher-ups in these companies, we've learned some pretty interesting things. One of which is that Sony really, really hates crossplay.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know exactly where in the hearing this appeared, but basically all we've learned is that Sony pretty much was never even going to consider allowing crossplay until 2018, when after saying they weren't going to do crossplay for Fortnite, they got a huge backlash and said, fine, we'll do it. Like, Epic had reached out to them prior to this, being like, hey, do crossplay. It's a great deal for you. And Sony was really just like, no, crossplay bad. We refuse.
Yeah.
And it really wasn't until that it really wasn't until this huge backlash hit that they even did this for Fortnite. But what's crazy is that even after the backlash, for Epic to get Sony on board, Epic has to pay Sony money for Sony to allow crossplay with Fortnite.
Yeah.
And basically what it comes down to is because in Sony's mind, their crossplay causes them to lose money because, if they can play on something that's not a PlayStation, they won't play it on a PlayStation. I think it's I really think Sony's overestimating what it would actually lose by allowing crossplay, but whatever. Sony's a giant company. Maybe I'm not going to claim I know more than them. But money be money.
Yeah, money be money.
But to compensate for what they perceive would be the loss, if players on Fortnite spend a certain amount on in-game transactions, if they go over a certain percentage, then Fortnite owes some part of that. Then Epic owes some part of that to Sony, because in Sony's eyes, people are spending money on Fortnite stuff on Xbox that they could have been spending it on a PlayStation.
Which just to clarify is very funny because Sony only has access to the numbers that they're getting on their platform, but they're saying, well, if we're making, I don't know, $1 billion on PlayStation, that means Xbox might be making $100,000, so we're going to charge you for that $100,000.
Yeah, it's absolutely baffling that they were able to get away with this, or maybe not so baffling because it's Sony. They are obviously one of the three big video game giants. But it's with more and more crossplay popping up, it's crazy that Sony is this resistant to change. This is allowing crossplay ain't gonna bankrupt you, Sony. You have all the money you need. This is gonna become more common, and you might as well just get on the program without being a giant ass about it.
And that's the thing. The email that Epic sent to them was literally, hey, I don't see a way in which Epic doesn't get crossplay to happen here on Fortnite. So why don't you just work with us and then we can celebrate this together?
Right.
And you can look like a hero. And instead they're like, no, we're also going to take the money.
Yeah. They just refuse to even consider crossplay before this Fortnite thing. It's bonkers how resistant they are to this.
It's really crazy. Also, too, important to know, I believe in one of the different articles, it was marked down that $9 billion that we said Epic made off Fortnite in those 2 years, I think it was like 48% of that was from people playing Fortnite on PlayStation 4. Like that is the not the majority, but the almost the majority of people playing.
Right.
Were on a plurality, I guess. Is that what that's called?
Yeah, I think that's not bad.
It's where you have the most, but it's not more than 50%.
Yeah.
Anyways. Catching up with the chat here, we've got a few things to note. We've got Denny Tornellini gives points to Pridge for talking about a court case. Halucha gives points to Pridge for explaining a lawsuit in a simple way. Hungry Cat takes away a point because why not? Dan instantly gives that point back. Being the justice that Dan is. Mark shows up and gives us a sub. Thank you very much, Mark. Also gives a point to Pridge. Says, I don't know what we're talking about, but give a point to Pridge.
Oh, thanks.
Gay Space Fox gives a point, says companies like to be assholes. Who would have known? And NMackey99 also gives a point, just trying to see if this works. Yes, it does work. If you give points, I read it back. Yeah, the chat just explained it. I read it back and give points. Chat just gave a shit ton of points to Pridge, who is very much in the lead going into the second round here. So feel free to spread the love, everybody. You know, everybody can get points too. Ro, what would you like to talk about for your second topic of the show?
So I understand that Apple versus Epic, it is the topic. It is what's going on right now.
But please feel free to talk about whatever you like.
Exactly. I can't miss up an opportunity to shit on Stadia. I'm sorry.
Yeah, do it.
It's the gift that keeps on giving.
It is, at least to us.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, Stadia is back in the news, and as you probably guessed, it's not for anything good. On the heels of losing its head of product, they lost 6 more employees at Stadia Games. They lost a general manager. They lost a head of creative services. They lost a UX researcher, a graphics programmer, and 2 concept artists. And I don't know how many people they have in those roles left, but they lost more of them. As we said at the beginning of the show, like, it just keeps going downhill. Who knows how much longer Google is going to stand by Stadia? They say they're not going to abandon it in the early stages. That's what they said, but as things go on, it just keeps looking more dire and dire over there. Mm-hmm. And even this comes a little bit after Jade Raymond leaving the company.
Right.
And she was like head of Google Stadia's push for like first-party games being on Stadia. And wouldn't you know it, the 6 people that left are going over to the studio that she started.
Exactly. Which is just the ultimate like fuck you, Google.
It is. So yeah, like she's been in a huge, a large role at Ubisoft in creating Assassin's Creed and Watch Dogs and other games as well. She has a pretty good resume, and she started a new studio for PlayStation to create new IP for PlayStation, obviously. And yeah, those 6 employees ditched Google Stadia and followed her over there. And yeah, it's just I'm excited to see what happens over there at Haven Studios. But man, Stadia is just keeps taking L's. It's always in the news for something negative, unless you take the news that we got a couple weeks ago that they got a search bar as good news. I guess better late than never.
That's right.
But that's 16 months later. But I mean, it's a mixture of both. And I don't know if you guys remember last year when Google Stadia did this post, and I don't know if they ever found a game to fill in this letter, but they did a little like meme template on Twitter where they did spell your name using only video game titles.
Oh my god, that was incredible.
They spelled out Stadia. So they did S, SteamWorld Quest, Thumper for T, Assassin's Creed Odyssey for A, Doom Eternal for D. And when they got to I, they just put the shrug emoji, like, we don't got an iGame, so we're not going to do that. So not even the people that work at Google Stadia are like, yeah, we have faith in this. No, they're shitting on it as just as much as I am. So
it was so that, yeah, when they did the Stadia thing, I was like, you didn't have to tweet this.
Exactly.
You didn't have to tweet. like, hey, guess what? We don't have enough games to fill out an alphabet. We didn't have to tweet this, but we did, and now we look like idiots. Good job, whoever ran that. It was a hilariously poor choice.
I will say, when Cyberpunk 2077 came out, and I wanted to play it, I have a PC or a gaming laptop rather that doesn't run the best games, doesn't run high quality games very well, and I got a Stadia trial, and Cyberpunk 2077 ran pretty okay. That's not saying a lot because of how it launched, but it ran pretty okay. So I will say that, like, it's not horrible, but everything that I've heard about it outside of that one experience has been just terrible.
I think Google Stadia, I think game streaming in general is exciting to see where it goes in the future. Google's many missteps in regards to this. And again, it's Google. It's the company that, like, if anybody should be able to do this, it's probably them. And nope. Just every corner, every step they take, they step on a rake, and it's incredible.
It even goes all the way back to the very, very beginning when they were just announcing the console, and they had they were showing off the different quote unquote revolutionary game systems, and they had them in the clear cases, and they showed a bunch of failed consoles in them. I think was it the Virtual Boy or something? It was something that didn't do well. They were we're going to be just like them, and well,
oh my god,
I guess, yeah.
Good job, Google. One thing that was great in the chat, Spycheck said Jade Raymond leaving and all these devs joining her, all these different people joining her at Haven Studios says, this is the equivalent of I'm leaving and taking the kids. Very good.
A bad divorce.
Speaking of, though, Dinku Danky gives a point to Ro, says Stadia is never in the news for anything good. Halucha gives a point to Ro for the anti-Stadia crew. Gay Space Fox says shitting on Stadia, hell yeah, gives a point. Mark says I got Stadia for free and gave it away as a white elephant gift, so give a point to Ro, I guess. Damn.
I got Stadia for free. Gave it away.
That's absolutely incredible.
Oh, that's so brutal. I love it.
Denny gives a point, says Stadia sucks. Anybody who shits on it is very much a cool person in my book. And is that the last one? I think so. Denny Tortellini says, what is Elise's cat's name? That is Roxas. Elise, what would you like to talk about for your second topic of the show?
Let's talk about those free games, y'all.
Yeah, the free games on Epic and how they're paying those developers.
Not enough. So, as you probably know, Epic Game Store gives free games all the time. It's generally one or two a week, and then during sales, it's one every day.
Yeah.
And then every once in a while, they do a big promotion where it's one every day as well, outside of a sale. And y'all, they've given out a lot of free games. I've got so many games in my Epic account. Most of them I'll probably never play, but
yeah,
it's good to have if I want them. But they released the numbers during the lawsuit. They released how much they paid for these, how many people bought or claimed them, how many new Epic accounts claimed them, and how many, and the percentage of people who claimed it were new. And two things. First thing, devs should be getting way more money for this. They're getting a lot of the time way less than $1 per
claim or
Super
download,
Meat Boy, the second game. So this is just the first 9 months that were released so far. Super Meat Boy was downloaded 1.7 million times. They got $50,000.
Yeah.
Woof. World of Goo downloaded 2.4 million times. Also got $50,000. Some fared better than others. Mostly the AAA games, though. Mostly things like Batman Arkham got 1.5 million for 6.4 million downloads. Mutant Year Zero got $1 million for 3 million downloads. So they did pretty well for themselves there, but still, that's $1 for every 3 downloads or 3 claims. Games are worth more than that, people. Absolutely wild. The other thing that came out of this, and I don't know that it's in the article that we posted, but it also came out of this, is that only 7% of people who claimed a free game on Epic bought a game on Epic later.
Sorry, what was that? What was the percent?
7%.
Jeez, Pete's. No, I thought you at least said 17. 7 is very bad. Oh wow.
So on one hand, they're not paying the developers enough for their games, but on the other hand, they're not getting that much value out of these games. So what we're ending up with is get the games, to people in the chat, to people listening to this, get on Epic, get your games, but like the store still sucks, and it has really bad PR and a pretty shitty UI. I've bought a couple games there, but only because Is There Any Deal told me that it was the cheapest place.
Yeah, Epic Game Store is an interesting spot. I definitely think they are in it for the long haul, but
they've got the money too. Like
clearly,
Fortnite's making them way too much money.
Yeah.
That they can spend it on, these long-term investments that may or may not work out. And I'm sure they're right. 2024, maybe 2025, Epic Game Store will be profitable. Steam took a while to be profitable, if I remember correctly.
I mean, Amazon did, but
Amazon did. And Epic's got the money.
Sure do.
We'll see if it turns out for them.
Really quick, catching up with the chat here, we've got Danny Tornellini gives a point for Kitty. Dan takes away a point. Kitty is adorable, but not a valid discussion point. Will then immediately gives a point back, says Kitty in all caps. Spycheck says Epic is paying these developers in exposure, though.
Oh no.
Oh shit, that says take away a point. Okay. Mark says devs deserve more. Epic only takes 12% from all sales in their store, but who cares if they're not paying anything for their giveaways? Yeah, it's not a great look. Oh, Spycheck does give a point back, saying Epic does have way more leverage than fair competition. Yeah, that's kind of what that's kind of their model right now. Dinky Danky says Epic is like the Elon Musk of video game stores. Made way too much money off of one thing and is now just really dumb. When you word it like that, yeah, it's an apt comparison.
Hey, be fair. Two things. They make Unreal Engine.
It's true. And Unreal Engine actually is doing some good work.
It's doing numbers, but it's doing like quiet numbers because Fortnite's the big thing.
Yeah. Pridge, it is time for the final topic of the show. What would you like to talk about to take us home?
Who do I want to yell at? Let's yell at Blizzard.
Yeah.
Because there is not any occasion when they don't deserve to be yelled at.
Take it away.
So Activision Blizzard, everyone's something game company. Manned by man of the people, I say sarcastically, Bobby Kotick, who's just the worst.
Yeah.
They basically said that from the start of this is from stuff from last year, but from the start of 2020 to the end of next year, we intend to hire more than 2,000 developers. This is something that was said during one of their quarterly meetings. And that most of these will likely be working on Call of Duty. This also ties into the news that the Crash Bandicoot studio, Toys for Bob, has basically been told, yeah, you now help Call of Duty. Which kind of makes you want to say two big things. First off, Blizzard, didn't you just lay off a shit ton of people? Weren't there like massive company-wide layoffs? Like, I know that those weren't probably developers who were getting laid off, but it always just feels shitty when it's like, hey, we're laying off everyone, but we're also hiring a bunch more people.
Yeah.
Like, fuck you. You have the money. Stop laying people off.
Hey, but Bobby Kotick cut his salary in half, Pridge.
And he'll make more money at the end of the day because when you become a CEO, salaries are meaningless.
That's true.
You make all your money doing other non-taxable shit, which is why we eat them. But my second point is, man, do we really care? Can we stop caring about Call of Duty so much? Damn. Like, really? More Call of Duty? That's what you want to throw your weight behind?
It's making them a lot of money.
I know, but like, how many teams do you need to regurgitate another first-person shooter with an online mode? Do you need all these extra people in new studios to just repackage the same game for the 8th time in a row? I mean, you might as well just do like the FIFA or Madden model. Just call your games Call of Duty 2021, and so then Call of Duty 2022, and like stop pretending they're actually different games. They're all just reskins of the same basic formula that unfortunately a large portion of gamers still consume, despite the fact that they're not actually getting $70 worth of product. They're just getting a reskin that runs slightly faster and takes up so much space on your computer. It takes up so much space on your console, you can't play another game on it.
Yeah.
Congratulations, EA. Congratulations to EA, because I now officially hate Activision Blizzard so much more than I hate you.
Yeah, Activision has
fucking hate Activision Blizzard.
They've really been on a race to the bottom lately. It's the thing too. Toys for Bob, the Crash Bandicoot trilogy remakes sold unbelievably well. And I don't know if Toys for Bob did the kart racer, Crash Bandicoot. I can't remember the name of the kart racer. I've played it. It's really good. I own it. And also that sold super well. The fourth one, the new one, I don't think sold. It sold well. It just didn't like sell more than the remakes, which, I mean, nostalgia. Come on. And 3 games for one.
I didn't know that game existed until like 2 days after it was out.
Yeah, some of the marketing wasn't super strong, but
yeah. I want to know, like, in terms of Call of Duty, how much of that is from like the mid 2000s era, or mid-late 2000s, like
just the power of it being a brand?
The power of it being a brand, because no one I know talks about Call of Duty anymore. No one I see talks about Call of Duty anymore. It just kind of happens.
I think like when we think of like us, like who we are as like kind of quote unquote core gamers, like Call of Duty might not mean something to us, but like there is such a huge swath of people that Call of Duty is like, okay, this is the game, one of the 3 games I'm going to buy this year.
Yeah, so it's much like FIFA games. There's a group of people who like that's the game they play. Mm-hmm. They just keep buying the new version of that, and that's it. And like they're just Call of Duty players,
and they're really happy with it. Yeah,
again, which is fine. I don't gatekeep, nor do I care about what you play to cars of a gamer. So I don't care about that. But it's like there are people who literally just play Call of Duty.
Yeah. I guess my point is, and you're right, we shouldn't gatekeep games. It's just there's so many.
You're right, but
I know it's frustrating because I hate the series.
Yeah.
And I just like how many of those people that are like Call of Duty gamers would prefer a different game if they gave it a shot, but because of the brand recognition of it being a game of like 2010.
I mean, annualized franchises. It's love it or hate it. They unfortunately are very much here to stay.
I hate it.
Catching up exactly. Catching up with the chat here. Spy Check gives a point to Pridge. Eat the Rich, a cab. Sibylla says agreed. Call of Duty is blech. And Mackie says for point to Pridge for telling everyone to stop caring about Call of Duty. Denny Tortellini says the way Pridge always sounds vaguely pissed about every topic he covers is so entertaining. Points to Pridge. Mark gives a point. All of their remakes did so well. Exactly. Mark also points out Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 1 and 2. That team got destroyed so they could help make Diablo. Which, like, I do personally care about Diablo, but just make more Tony Hawk. That game sold super well. It was, I think, the 20th best-selling game of last year. And critically, everybody loved it.
It was really fun.
Yeah.
It was really clean.
Dan gives a point. What do you think Bobby Kotick tastes like? I'm guessing Halloween candy you forgot about in your drawer, but it's Christmas Eve and you can't sleep and just want to try a bite. God, thank you for that extremely colorful imagery. Yeah. David says, I think Battlefield was the main competitor, but it fell out of favor in the past few years. So, I think that's kind of it. I think Call of Duty is now pretty much unchecked as far as first-person shooters. Sorry, David.
Just wait, man. Medal of Honor is going to make a comeback.
Oh my God. I wish Medal of Honor would make a comeback.
A statement I literally couldn't say without laughing.
Sorry.
Because of how little I believe it possible.
And also, David does give a point to Row, saying, row, fight the power.
I need to rewatch Grand Logon.
That, however, is going to do it for this week, which does mean Elise and Ro, it's time to go home and become a family man because literally everybody gave a shit ton of points to Pridge this week. Pridge is this week's winner. Pridge, are you ready for your minute to win it?
All right. What have I been watching on TV lately that I can tell you all about? I watched Yasuke on Netflix. That was pretty decent. That was fun. It is the story of a black samurai who served. Well, it's a very fictionalized, not historically accurate, but fantasy telling of the story of Yasuke, a black samurai who served in Oda Nobunaga's forces during one of the most famous eras of Japan. That was worth watching. I am currently watching The World Ends With You the World Ends With You animation on Funimation. I love that game, and the fact that it is currently getting an anime and is then getting a sequel in the summer is literally just Christmas come early twice for me. So that's been a lot of fun. And then also, because I'm insane, I've also watched like 5 straight seasons of Gordon Ramsay's Kitchen Nightmares because all the episodes are free on YouTube, and I need stuff to do while I'm on the clock but not working. It's fun to watch Gordon Ramsay scream at people. It amuses me, even though I know it's all fake. And that's the Michael's minute of what I've been watching.
Sorry, who's Michael?
Damn it. Good points.
That is going to do it for this week's episode. Ro, please tell people again where they can find you. You know what you do. Give them the elevator pitch on Ro.
Yes, so I am Roro. You could follow me on Twitter at RAUWRO. I have a YouTube channel. It honestly has been a hot minute since I posted on there. I am trying to post more, but I do have a podcast called Thank You Games Podcast where I talk to people about their favorite video games, content creators, so on and so forth. And we give thanks to the video game industry. And I also draw. So if you like to see art, again, at Roro on Twitter and on Instagram, I draw a bunch of video game stuff, fan art stuff, just random stuff. So you can check out that stuff there. But that's pretty much it. I like talking about video games. I like drawing.
Yeah, seriously, please go follow Ro. He's absolutely excellent. I actually guested on an episode of Thank You Games. So maybe go check that out as well. Other things to plug this week. Again, if you're not watching our Ace Attorney with an Actual Lawyer series, you're missing out. This week, we streamed ourselves live from a pool, which was really just us in a bathtub playing the game. But due to fan demand, we did it. So, folks, please check that out. Let's see here.
Validate our insanity.
Yeah. Tomorrow, David is not on the show right now, so I will plug it. We do have another episode of the Save Data Cast. That is our bi-weekly gaming discussion show. We will be talking about what makes a good open world game. So come hear us talk about our opinions on that, and also talk about what we've been playing this last couple weeks. And also important to note, if you haven't heard already, we are making our own Pokemon game. Yes, folks. The absolute mad lad that he is, Chris, is making a custom Pokemon game. Currently, the working title is Pokemon Data. I will eventually be playing it on stream. It is full of in-jokes. All of the core members of Save Data Team are gym leaders. If you join us at the $1 level on Patreon, you can be an NPC or a trainer in the game. Just let Chris know, and he will make you work in this game. We do have an hour of it playable. Actually, the first demo going up to the first gym is complete. Also, if you join the Patreon, you get access to that demo and all the updates as they come out. But we will have a new video of that coming up later this week, where I talk through kind of what we're doing and showcasing that first hour of gameplay, because it is very funny. If you know a lot of our inside jokes. Also, speaking of Pokemon, we're doing a Pokemon Nuzlocke. Good Lord, we have so many shows to introduce now every week. We'd make too much content. But me, Chris, and Jason are playing at Pokemon Nuzlocke once a week. We stream it live every Monday at 7:30 Eastern Time. And our very own official procrastinator, OP, is editing that series. That goes up on our YouTube every Sunday at 3 p.m. We've got the next episode coming up. He just sent me the edited version. It is very funny, well edited. Be excited for that this Sunday. But I think that's all I've got. Pridge, Elise, anything for you two to plug?
I think you covered it.
Yeah, you got everything.
All right. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think that's going to do it for this week. So until next time, this has been Around the Monitor.